In the original script that we used to load the data, we used our own IDs to identify objects and also to define the relations. So far, we've been using this ID everywhere in the UI, and I chose to use these simple IDs to keep things simple at first. However, as we're starting to get ready to insert some new data to the database, we should probably back out from using manual IDs and use the automatic IDs in MongoDB. The automatic IDs in MongoDB, let's take a look at our data. We can find all the names with db.names.findAll. And you'll notice there is an automatic underscore ID field that gets created for every record. And this underscore ID is a special field. So for example, if you want to find something with an ID like that, very simple, right? But if you want to find something with an underscore ID, then you can't just use the string. You'll have to use the full object ID call, just like that. These object IDs have nice properties. We can actually generate them client-side and supply them, but if we don't supply them during an insert operation, Mongo auto-create an object ID for the document, which is convenient. Object IDs also store the creation time. For example, I can access the creation time of this object ID with a getTimestamp call like that, and you'll notice that this timestamp is very close to the timestamp that was generated with the new date here. So when we actually sort by the underscore ID, we would be roughly sorting by the time as well. So it's time that we start working with the underscore ID instead of the manual IDs we've used before. And the first step is to update our database to use underscore IDs for relations as well. Now we have very simple data. We can actually drop all these collections and use object IDs instead of IDs. But assuming that we have a lot of user-generated data that uses these IDs and we decided to switch to underscore IDs, we'll need a script that processes all the data and update the name IDs to use underscore IDs. So I wrote a very simple script for that, and I committed its content to the repo and tagged this point in the course as v74begin. This script is very simple. It finds all the contest collections, and for each, it finds all the names for that collection, project them into an array of IDs, and then create a new array from the original array, mapping every item to its underscore IDs, and then it updates the contest to set the name IDs array to this new array. So let's go ahead and test that. Before we test, let's see how to verify it. So I have all the names, and let me show one contest. Right now, this first contest is using the manual IDs. Those manual IDs point to the first two IDs. So I'm going to run this script now, Babel node update test data. And this script should say updated 4 records because we have 4 contests. And now let's refind these guys. So we have names, we have contests, and these contests are updated to use the object IDs instead of the manual IDs. And those two object IDs are still pointing to the first 2 names. So this change should actually break our UI because we are depending on the IDs. So refreshing here would still find the contest because we haven't removed the IDs. We just changed the relation, and as you can see, the names are no longer showing up. So in the next movie, we'll fix our UI to work with this underscore ID change.